Joining us in our video, we'll be looking on sequence and number pattern. So we're asked to find the next four terms of the following sequence and state the mathematical rule. All right, so in that first list of numbers, we see the first term, and in understanding sequence, we should understand that each object or each number, they are assigned a position. So the first term and the second term, see the first term is 2, the second term is 5. We also see the third term is 8. All right, so without using a formula, we know that as it relates to the CSEC exams or, the advanced, they are given a formula in which to use. However, what we are going to do is to look on the numbers as it relates to the first and the second term there. We see a 2 and we see a 5. We can look between those numbers and see between the first term and the second term what is the difference. So we realize that there's a difference of an addition of 3. So from the first term, they add 3 to get to 5. All right? Looking on the third term as well, we see also addition of 3. Wow. Addition of 3, right? And if we go through all our terms, right, we see that there is an increase of 3, right? So this sequence, we see that the sequence, in stating the rule, sequence, right? So for that sequence, we see that the sequence increases by 3. So if we were asked to write the next 4 terms in the sequence, after 14, we should increase by 3, right? So 14 is the last term that we have there. The next term would be 14 plus 3, 17. 17 plus 3, well, I guess it would be a comma. 17 plus 3, 21. Well, that's 20 rather. And then the next one would be 23, and then 1, 2, 3, 26. All right, so the 4 additional terms after the 14 would be 17, 20, 23, and 26. Looking on our next example, we see the first term is 1, the second term is 6, the third term is 11. So we should look on those numbers, and in just looking on the numbers, we see that the numbers are increasing, right? We don't see the numbers decreasing in value, or we don't see any number being squared. So we see also that this sequence is increasing based on the value of the number. So there should be something common with the sequence, right? A pattern. So in looking on it, 1 and 5, we see that it increases by 5. From 6 to 11, we also see it increases by 5. So we can say that this sequence increases by 5, right? So our next 4 term from this sequence, so 21 was the last term. So 21, the next term would be 25, right? 25 plus 5, 30. 30 plus 5, 35. And 35 plus 5, 40. And those would be the next 4 terms, right? All right, so we are now going to look at our last example, which is the -8, -4, -2, and -1. What can we say about that sequence? All right? Based on the value of the number, we see 8, then we see a 4, then we see a 2, then we see a 1, right? So the number is decreasing. But it's also, there is a pattern as it relates to that, right? And what is the pattern? we realize that the numbers are being divided by 2. So the sequence right? So if we have a negative 8 and we divide that by 2, we'll get a negative 4. Alright? Dividing this as well by 2, and we go on, right? So negative 8 divided by 2 equal a 4, negative 4 divided by 2 equal a positive 2, and a positive 2 divided by 2 equal a negative 1, and negative 1 divided by 2 equal a negative a half. Right? So the next number in the sequence, where after we have a negative a half, it would be negative a quarter. Negative a quarter divided by 2 would have a negative 1 over 8. Negative 1 over 8 divided by 2 be a negative 1 over 16. Negative 1 over 16 divided by 2 be a negative 1 over 32. Right? And so for that sequence, we see that the terms, they are being divided by a 2. Alright, so this video would offer some assistance in answering any sequence question that you are to observe the rule that the sequence is following, in which some sequence may divide, some sequence may increase, some sequence also may subtract, but it is where the pattern is constant throughout the sequence, right? And for these one, we were asked to find the next 4 terms in the sequence.